Hi, folks. Finding my live here. It says I'm live. I don't know. I think it's trying. There we go. I am live. How are you all today? Hopefully you all are having a great day. Hold on. All right. Why is it showing up weird? Okay. There we go. Now I can see the little sprinkle button. I'm going to sprinkle me out a few places. Let's see. There we go. I'm sprinkled out all the places. So if you are not actually, and I want to do one other place too. Hey, Don, how are you? Oh, that's already there. Okay. All right. We are good. How are you? Hey, D. Hey, Don. We are, what is this? Day 14? No, day 13? I don't know. I have to go back and look at my thing. Look at the title, Amanda. Day 13. All right. So, 20 minutes painting with me. And so what is that? It is 20 minutes. It's off of the 100-hour rule. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Where it states if you do something for 18 minutes a day, you'll be 95% better than anyone in your field. Well, I kind of reword it because I kind of see it as something different. I see it as if you do something for 20 minutes a day or 18 minutes a day. We do 20 here just because that's easy math, right? And so 20 minutes a day will be 95% better than when we started. And so this is our third piece that we've been working on. And yesterday, day 12, we started on this. And so we've got some pumpkins going here. So we're going to get started. I'm going to turn on my timer. Whoops, wrong direction, Amanda. 20 minutes and we're gonna get started. Hey, Brenda, how are you? How is your hand, girlfriend? How is your hand? Good to see you. How's your wrist? I should say your wrist. Not sure. Well, it's connected to your hand, right? Certainly affects your hand. And Don's shoulder. All of y'all are just in my prayers, in my thoughts, with all your recovery. Start therapy tomorrow. That's a good thing. Even though I know it's kind of a scary thing also, but it really is a good thing. So both a little scary and a little good. I was looking for my other brush I was using. I don't see it. I do see it. It's right here. I've actually put it away. Imagine me putting it away. Y'all, I'm a hot mess. I have a cup that says I'm not a hot mess. I'm a spicy disaster. Well, I'm all of it. I'm a hot mess. Spicy disaster. Whatever you want to say. Here is our inspiration. So these are our inspiration. And we kind of picked that we like this inspiration one a little bit better. So that's kind of the one we're semi-following a little bit. But not entirely. All right, so yesterday we got our darks on, our base coat and our darks on. We got this one just white so we can paint over top. And then we got kind of the base coat in on the ones hanging behind. So today we're just going to pick up a little bit of that where we left off. And I'm going to add some lights in on our pumpkins up there just because I kind of like to add that light in, and then we'll come back and we'll add this one on top. I'm going to grab a little bit of that red because with that white mixed in, we're going to get a little bit of that pink that we enjoyed seeing in there. Remember I showed you there was just a little pinkish hanging out in there. Okay, let me, your down camera is a small pic. It should change to the big pic, but what I can also do, if I can find, is I can zoom in just a little bit more, maybe. Sometimes I'm zoomed in a little too much and zoomed out a little too much. I know you are ready to use that hand. I am certain. You never know. I mean, it's one of those things, right? It's like you don't realize how much you use something until you don't have it. And so we're just going to work a little bit of this color in just because I think it's pretty on these pumpkins. We're not going to worry about what we're covering up. We're going to work it in where it would be like a little bit of a highlight. We'll go back and we can soften those colors. But I'm kind of loving this little combination here. We're going to just, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to put it on and then we'll cover up some of that also. And then we'll add another color on top of that. But we just want to get this in there. And you can kind of see how that pink just kind of pops a little bit. So if y'all hear some weird noises, my neighbor, they're working on their fence, which is just outside, not too far outside this window in my studio, down in my kind of like front yard to the right. So you may hear some, I don't know what they're doing, but they're working on the fence. They put up a fence not too long ago, and well, when they moved in, not long after they moved in, and I think this fence company has been back now 3 or 4 times, redoing. I don't know. They have messed up something on the gate, and so I'm gonna go back to a little bit of that orange and red, right, without the white. There may be some traces in my brush, but I've kind of wiped all that out. Hey, Jenny, how are you? Good to see you. I am loving this so much. I wasn't sure how I would like the daily lives because, I was like, whew, just going live once a week was such a challenge of finding that time and finding the stuff, but I actually love this. And I am painting on paper. And yesterday I was talking about I think we're going to stick with paper. I had originally said we would paint on all things, but the more I thought about it, I would love for you to be painting along with me. And so I would really love for us to, at the end of this, fast forward. Can you please switch cameras? I did. Oh, it didn't do it. Why didn't it do it? Hold on. Let me see. On my system, it did. It didn't do it on Facebook land. Okay. I don't know what happened, but when I'm looking at it, I see me big now and the thing small. Before I was seeing the picture big and me small. It was only when I looked at my phone that I noticed that you were seeing what you were seeing, even though Dawn was like, hey, dummy, you got the wrong one big. You don't need to be seeing me all that big. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, pay more attention, Amanda. Pay more attention. All right. So if you did not notice or could not see, I should say, we were working in some lights and we added just a little bit of pink in there. You can kind of see it now. So we have that little touch of pink that I was loving. And we're going to come in with a little more light. We kind of put that in, and then I kind of went back to that red and orange and kind of went over it a little bit. And then now I'm bringing in even a lighter, and I'm just kind of focusing it more on that top side, more where it's going to be like the brightest light on these pumpkins. A little bit of where that light's really going to be hitting those pumpkins. We're going to bring in some more dark, so don't worry if we accidentally covered everything up. So I don't know how that worked out that way, but there we go. Anyway, at least we got it fixed before it was done in the 20 minutes. You're like, I don't need to be looking at you. No, I totally get that. So, everybody having a good Wednesday so far? Although, now I'm used to looking up and seeing my thing big, and I paint a lot that away by just looking up at the picture and looking at it and seeing, like, do I like it? That's a little tip and trick. And so if you're painting and you're like, I don't know, take a picture of it, or stand up with your camera and look through your camera at it as though you're going to take a picture of it. It changes perspective. It gives you a different view of it. And sometimes it will, I needed to see the picture too. At least I had my face on today. Sometimes I don't have my face on, so at least I have my face on. It would have been really embarrassing had I not had my face on. 'Cause I'm a hot mess without my face. Anyway, all right, we're just going to come and add here, and I'll come back and add the darks in once those lights are dry. So we're going to put our base coat on. Yesterday I just kind of like tapped into all three colors, right? So I have all three colors on my brush, the orange, the red, the yellow. And then we're just going to start to paint. We're going to let it mix how it wants to mix. It does not matter. We're just getting all those colors on that pumpkin. So you should be seeing a little bit of red, a little bit of orange, and then it's going to mix a little bit too. And a little bit of yellow. If you're not, go back and tap back into that color that you're not seeing, because you should be seeing a little bit of all of those colors. And we do that for a couple of reasons. One, it just helps us. And two, it builds a little bit more than just a solid color. Like these are solid color, whereas this is a little bit of that combination. And you can really tell the difference there. I'm going to give it a couple little bumps up here, just because I feel like it needs a little bump. And so we'll get that in. Yes, well, I used white to make the pink. So I used the red and the orange, and then I grabbed some white. And so it's kind of like a pinky corally color. It's got a little orange and red, and then I added white. So yes, to get that pinky color. And you just kind of have to look at it. It looks a little pinker on the camera. Actually, it pulls it up a little bit more so than even like my naked eye can see it. So if you want to just pull a pink and add a pink into your mix, you can do that. Also, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to grab some brown. Remember, we added that, and then we came in with some brown or darker color. And we're going to pull out that center. That's where our little stem will come out of. And then if we want, we also can just make up a few of our little ridges that are in our pumpkin, right? Again, we just make it up, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna come in and put a little darker there down on that one side, a little darker, kinda where those pumpkins are bumping up against each other. I'm just gonna create a little, like, shadow in there. Okay, and it's not anything perfect right now, it doesn't have to be. Well, it's never gonna be perfect, so we can just admit that right now. But we're just gonna create a little bit of a shadow, just a little bit, and while we're at it, we're gonna create just a little bit of a shadow underneath. I'm just using a little water just to water down the paint a little bit. And we're just gonna create a little shadow from our pumpkins, just to give a little bit of depth. There. We'll figure out what's gonna be there when we're ready for that step. Um, but for now, we just got a little bit of a shadow going. We can lighten it, we can darken it. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this, and I'm gonna just kind of pull up from the bottom. We're gonna use our rounding rules. I think I said this yesterday, but there's only I mean, there's lots of rules when it comes to art. Some people can complicate anything, when it comes to the finer arts, I guess you could say. But we don't we don't complicate things around here. We try to keep it simple. And we try hard not to complicate where you don't have to complicate. But there are a few rules that you do need to be mindful of. One is the rounding rules. If you want something to look round, there's a certain way you have to do that. And, you pick your darker side, and that gets the darker shadows. But you still have to put a little bit of dark on the other side, just a little hint, and then lighter in the middle. And then all of a sudden, it's going to look like that it's like three-dimensional and it's rounded. So you can't, that's one rule that you need to adhere to. Just going to work in our darks on our pumpkin up top. We're going over some of that light. I try hard for the dark not to hit the light, but I was a little like wild with my light. Y'all know me, I can get excited. And so we're going to do a little blending technique here in just a minute to help with that. But you need it on both sides, a little heavier on one side, a little lighter on the other side of the dark, and then the light in the middle. And you want that base color to be the in-between where you're blending from one to the other. So that's the basic, like, skinny of it all. Hey, Debbie, how are you? And the more you layer, you go lighter, you go darker, you go lighter, you go darker, you go back to that base, you blend a little bit. The more colors you get, the more gradient of colors you get, and the more realism will start to show in your painting. And if you adhere to those rounding rules, it will really start to pop. And you can layer the paint. I'm doing good. So I was saying yesterday, we were talking about the reason I'm sticking to paper is because we're going to put these in a journal. I'm going to make a journal. My very first journal that I've made, like from start to finish. Normally I buy my journals, not going to lie, I buy them. But I'm always wanted to make one. And so I'm going to make my journal. Y'all tell me if you would like for me to do that live. I wouldn't do it live during these sessions because I want to keep these to 20-minute paintings, but I could just plan on going live a different time. And look at how our pumpkins are starting to just come out alive here. So y'all tell me if you want me to do that. I could consider doing that. I've got all my supplies to make them with, to make it with. And I think what I want to do is do seasons. Like the different signatures will be different seasons. And then as I'm doing like a fall, it'll go in the fall one. You know, as you're doing something more winter, it'll go in the more winter one. I don't know. Or maybe I just want it to be like, now 2 of mine are already in my seaside journal, which is what I wanted. But from now on, or maybe I just want it chronological. What do you think? Chronological, so you can just see like, you know, week by week, or I don't know if it's a week. I don't know if it'll be a week for each piece. It may be just a day or two. You know, I don't know because I don't know what we're doing. And also, then that brings me to something else. If you have something you're like, I would love to see this painted, let me know. And don't bring me like the 16 chapel or something like that. 16. I can never say that. But y'all know what I'm talking about. It sounds like 16, the number, but that's not what I mean. The Sistine. Me and my accent here. Flubba-dubbing on me. But anyway, we're done. So, okay, that's what we got done today. All right, now I'm going to switch again and be like the bigger screen here. I don't know how it managed to do that weirdness. But so what did we do today? We added our lights. Because I'm seeing different. We added our lights. We added some more darks. We got some rounding action happening there in that. We'll add a little more detail. We'll work on those other pumpkins, getting that in. Do January through December. I could do that. We could do that. And then this would just go into the September one. And that might be a good idea. And then, because it is basically a whole year. So we added lights, we added darks. We got some rounding action happening on these pumpkins. We'll come back tomorrow at noon. I'll be live at noon tomorrow. We'll work on the ones in the back. We'll work on these ones in front, adding some additional little details to them. And, you know, I would say by Friday, we will be done on this one. Of course, we just started it on Tuesday, right? Yeah, we just started it yesterday. Great day. We got a lot done in 2 days. Wow. All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your day. Love silly fun. Looks great. Yep. All right. I will see you later. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. We will paint again for 20 minutes. And let me know if you want me to do my book live with you all. Y'all have a great one. Bye.